This particular synthetic credit portfolio was intended to earn a lot of revenue if there was a crisis. I consider that a hedge. It was protecting the downside risk of the company, and in fact, the biggest risk of the company.
Mr. Dimon.
Some have said that it's not possible to distinguish between proprietary trading and hedging. Clearly, that's what the Volcker Rule contemplates, and it's what, if we implement it, is going to be imposed on banks like yours. Could you discuss for a moment whether we can distinguish between proprietary trading and hedging, and if so, how we make that distinction?
I think it's going to be very hard to make a bright line distinction between proprietary trading and hedging.
And I wish we'd had these kinds of hearings prior to the passage.
I wonder what your views, do you regret calling the efforts to require banks to hold more money, quote, un-American, and, quote, putting the nail in our coffin? Today you cite the fortress balance sheet of your bank as a way to prevent against the challenges, yet you railed against us when we were in fact trying to pursue greater capitalization of these banks. Is that a regret you had of those comments then?
No, I don't think what you said is true.
Yeah, I want to thank you, Mr. Chairman. Appreciate you holding this important hearing.
Can you tell us a little bit about the policy that you have for clawbacks?
There's several layers, but for senior people, which most of these people are, we can claw back for, even for things like bad judgment. We can claw back any unvested stock. We can even claw back things like cash bonuses. So it's pretty extensive, the ability to claw back. I was in favor of the clawback system. I think that one of the legitimate complaints was that, after the crisis, a lot of people walked away from companies that went bankrupt with a lot of money. Some of that was inappropriate. In this particular case, the board will review at the end of this every single person involved, what they did, what they didn't do, and what's appropriate.
Of a company like yours, a financial institution like yours, is the living will, so-called living will. Would you describe to me